the program has definitely evolved over the years, but it's comprised of three main components: leadership training, which we partner with the Eckerd College Leadership Development Institute. Then there's the educational seminars. The class is able to select a nonprofit in the community who they want to do a capital improvement project for, and you're actually like working hands-on, marketing, fundraising for the project, event planning, doing the whole construction and design of that capital improvement project, and then ultimately it kind of all culminates in a class project or community project day. So those are the three main elements of the program and why you would want to get involved. And then kind of what's woven throughout all of it is the relationship building. And I think that's what people come away with. I think the most beautiful part of it is that it's all people from all walks of life, all levels in their career, different companies, nonprofits, to entrepreneurs, to corporate leaders. We've got a lot of realtors in the program, attorneys, architects, doctors. I mean, really anyone can go through the program if they want to enhance their leadership and then also learn more about the community.
Hello, you beautiful people. Welcome back to Talkin St. Pete. I'm your host, Ryan Bogdan. Before we get into today's amazing guest, I want to let you know this episode is sponsored by Bogdan Homes at Keller Williams St. Pete. So if you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest here in the greater Tampa Bay area, please find our contact information in the description below. And now on to our amazing guest. I'm very, very excited to dive into everything that she's bringing to the table. I have Jenna Stock Wunsch, the 2025 Leadership Chair for Leadership St. Pete. That sounds good enough, right?
Perfect. That was perfect.
Which a lot of people know what Leadership St. Pete is, but a lot of people do not. So let's bring some awareness. Jenna, first, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So glad you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
We'll see if I'm signed up by the end of this thing.
Yeah. I got brochures for you.
You got brochures. So. Yeah, we'll get into that. So for those who are like, Leadership St. Pete sounds cool, but what is it?
Yeah, so Leadership St. Pete is the second oldest leadership program in the country of its kind. We're a member of we're put on through the Chamber of Commerce here in St. Petersburg, and we are celebrating 55 years of LSP for short this coming class year. So every year we put 35 to 40 members of the community leaders, business leaders through a 6-month transformational journey to learn more about themselves, the city of St. Pete, kind of ingrain them in the culture, and then there's leadership development components as well.
Sounds fun.
It is. It's really
for those
fun.
who are interested in leadership. But who is interested in this? Who's coming? Who's the normal, like through the classes, 30, 45 people, who's signing up?
Really anyone. The requirement is you must be 22 years of age. So I think the most beautiful part of it is that it's all people from all walks of life, all levels in their career, different companies, nonprofits, to entrepreneurs, to corporate leaders. We've got a lot of realtors in the program, attorneys, architects, doctors. I mean, really anyone can go through the program if they want to enhance their leadership and then also learn more about the community.
Okay, so you said a little bit about that, but let's dive deeper into the why. Like, let's go back on a little bit of the origin story. So one of the oldest in the country. How much of the origin story do you know about LSP?
I don't know enough. I probably need to do my research. But Leadership Atlanta, I think, is the first oldest. And then we've been around. And the program has definitely evolved over the years. But it's comprised of three main components: leadership training, which we partner with the Eckerd College Leadership Development Institute. Then there's the educational seminars. So this year we enhance the curriculum every year to kind of like cater to the needs of the community. This year we have 9 seminars, starting with St. Pete history all the way to state government. We go to Tallahassee for a couple of weeks, or not a couple of weeks, a couple days. Yeah. Till we end the session with local government. And then the third component is there's a community project. So the class is able to select a nonprofit in the community who they want to do a capital improvement project for, and you're actually like working hands-on, marketing, fundraising for the project, event planning, doing the whole construction and design of that capital improvement project, and then ultimately it kind of all culminates in a class project or community project day. So those are the three main elements of the program and why you would want to get involved. And then kind of what's woven throughout all of it is the relationship building. And I think that's what people come away with. LSP is such a family, and you don't go anywhere in St. Pete without meeting. Once you go through the program, like finding someone that, hey, like I saw my LSP classmate or someone that recently graduated from the program.
It sounds really intriguing. I love that there's multiple layers to it, and you said it's 6 months long.
6 months long, yeah.
Okay.
Which, for leadership programs in the region, I don't know if you've looked into any of the other ones, It's one of the shortest. So some of them are a full year. So it is a pretty time-intensive 6 months, but it kicks off in December with our orientation dinner. And that's where the class will hear from the 3 potential nonprofits that will serve as the beneficiary for the class community project. And then it ends in June with graduation. So in between that, there's 15 events.
So there's 15 times that you meet over 6 months.
Plus way more than that. So there's
So give me the schedule.
I'll give you the schedule.
Give me the schedule. Over 6 months, what times a day are people meeting? Because they're like, listen, like, if I'm in a leadership position, it's probably because I have to work.
Yes. So one of the application requirements is we require your employer commitment because it is a huge time commitment. It is during the workday mostly. So kicks off with opening retreat in January, and that is an overnight event at Saddlebrook Resort. That's where you meet your class and get to really kind of delve into who each other are and kind of do some problem solving. Like I said, we partner with Eckerd College to put that on. And then after that, there's 9 educational seminars. So St. Pete history, culture is a full-day seminar because there's so much to cover here with the culture in St. Pete. We have local government, state government, I didn't mention, which is the 3 days in Tallahassee, which is happening in March this year. Then we have Growing St. Pete, which we're learning about the growth in our city. It's, the city is evolving really rapidly. So we added that seminar a couple years back. Like I said, we're kind of always catering to the needs of the city. What did I miss? Environmental sustainability, huge. I mean, the rain that's been happening, like our infrastructure, how the class can kind of help contribute to that and, improve stormwater drainage in the future, stuff like that. What did I miss?
Oh, it's a lot already.
It's a lot, yeah.
Okay.
And then there's the retreats, leadership retreats throughout. So we have the opening that I mentioned, mid-year, and closing retreat. And then
is this something that's happening weekly, bi-weekly?
It's every other week typically. The calendar changes every year, but it is posted right now on leadershipstpete.com.
Okay.
So we've got the full 2025 calendar year planned out. Most of those seminars that I mentioned are half-day seminars, so from 1 to 5. So you are having to block your afternoon and kind of, step away from work. The retreats are full days, and then, as I mentioned, there are some special overnights.
There's things happening in between?
The in-between is, so what is unique about our program is the class members, so the 35 to 40 individuals that are selected for the class are actually assigned to the seminars and putting on that seminar. So our planning committee of volunteers that are like the leadership team that puts on the program and like makes it a great experience for the class, they are putting they're booking the location, securing the sponsors, but then the class is really determining what speakers do we want to invite, what experience do we want our class to have to learn about whatever the subject is. So you're having a lot of planning meetings to actually put on the seminar with your classmates with the guidance from the planning committee. And then the other big piece of it, is the community project. So that kicks off in January, where you select your nonprofit that will be your beneficiary for the year. And then from there, you're figuring out how you're going to raise $50,000 to fund the capital improvement project throughout the year.
Okay.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
But it's really fun.
I can tell you've ran through this a few times.
I have. Well, so
a little bit of practice.
We're in the season of recruitment right now. We've had 5 information sessions. The last one was last night at Power Design. So I just ran through the whole spiel. So it's very top of mind.
So you're very, very fluid with it. So I'm more intrigued right now. Why LSP for you?
Why LSP for me? That's good. So I went through the class of 2021, also known as the class of 2020 Wonderful. Every class kind of has its own name. And it was right after COVID. I had been really heavily involved in a PR and communications association, PRSA Tampa Bay, for many years, serving as president in 2019. And after that, I was like, I just need to take a step back and kind of not do anything, commit to nothing. But then COVID happened, and I was wanting to get back involved. And so I learned about Leadership Tampa and some of the other leadership programs in the area, but I live and work in St. Pete. And so I Googled and found that there was a leadership organization or leadership program in St. Pete, and I decided to go through it.
Okay.
I didn't really know what I was getting into.
You didn't.
No.
You just were bored and you needed something.
Yeah, I was kind of bored. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Needed some human connection. Needed a community.
Yes.
Right, which we know at St. Pete has tons of communities, and to have another one based around leadership sounds amazing. Okay, so what's something when you joined the program, you had someone else, you had a you telling you about the program, right? But then on the other side of it, what's something that you learned or experienced that you did not expect going into it?
Well, I'm not from here, so I learned a ton about St. Pete, the history, kind of, where we're going. I'm originally from Minneapolis, Twin Cities area, but I've lived here for 13 years. So learned a ton about the city, the history, like I said, which was really fascinating. I think what I mostly took away, though, was the connections with my classmates. I had a class of 40, and we still get together annually, but I'm constantly, like, meeting with folks for lunch. Like, I got together with someone the other week, and it's just a community to be able to lean on when you need something. They're there for you. And like I said, I think earlier, you meet people from all over. So, like, I went to lunch with Esther Matthews, who owns her own business. She's president of the NAACP chapter here in St. Pete. Would have never probably met her if it wasn't for the program. So I think that's what's really cool is you get to meet people that you wouldn't normally, meet in your day-to-day life. And as we get older, I don't know that we're making a ton of new friends, or like maybe it's a little bit harder to meet friends. So I think that was probably the biggest thing that I took away.
The connections and the history. What's a cool fact you can share about St. Pete's history that stuck with you that you didn't know before?
Well, I'm not going to give it away, but did you know there's a fountain of youth here in St. Pete?
Where do we go drink out of that? Do we go drink out of that?
You gotta
thing?
Google it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. You'll learn that if you go through the program.
Okay.
But we St. Pete History, which is the first seminar, we take a trolley ride around St. Pete, and we partner with the St. Pete History Museum. Rui, that is the executive director there, tours us through the city, and it's a really fascinating experience.
Cool. That's cool because knowing your history and where things are, like watching where things are going and knowing where they came from and why some things are the way that they are is pretty cool. Which I've been to the History Museum of St. Pete. It's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah, those who had a big impact on Snell and who was involved with doing the Gandy Bridge. I'm forgetting the name, but there's an interesting story about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even just Grand Central, the artwork that's in the middle, like that was from the pier. I mean, just like little tidbits I feel like you learn through the program. You probably learn if you're just really engaged with the city, but...
Yeah, but if it's set up... I'm a whole thing of it set it up for my world so I don't have to go find it myself. Will make things a whole lot easier. Okay, so a wide range of people that are joining LSP. Obviously connections, history... those are some of the main reasons why to join. From a leadership perspective, because it is Leadership St. Pete, what are some things that you learned personally that you may otherwise maybe wouldn't have known?
Yeah, you learn a lot. So you take assessments and kind of learn about your own personal leadership style and then how you can manage conflict or work and navigate the relationships. Because, obviously when you bring 40 people together to work hands-on for the community project or even to plan a seminar, you're not always, you're having to work with people that you may work a little bit differently. And so there was an assessment in opening retreat, the Chi assessment, where everyone's either kind of like an A, which is like you're an adapter, you're a rule follower, or you're an I, you're an innovator, you're like wanting to push the envelope. And so that was really fascinating because our whole class was put on kind of like the spectrum of like where you fall. And then you get to, like, you kind of know where people are. So then when you're working with them, you can adjust how you...
Super important.
Work with them, yeah.
And there's tons of different scales. In our industry, we use something called a DISC scale.
Yes,
you know
I've done that
yeah.
through my work, yeah.
Yeah, and so it is important to know who you're showing up and not, and a great agent in our office, Monica Crawford, shout out, talks about there's the golden rule, right? And how you treat people how you want to be treated.
Right.
But then there's the platinum rule. You treat people how they want to be treated.
Oh, I like that.
And so when you know their personality type and how they communicate, you can then show up for them. And I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and very
absolutely.
important in a large project like that because some people may think that they're coming off short or brash, but that's just their communication style. They don't need the extra details. Where some people...
Yeah, I'm a detail-oriented
I can
person.
tell you said you read all the questions. I knew that right away.
I know, I studied. No, I didn't.
But yeah, there's a difference, right? Those who... your accountants, engineers, lawyer types of personalities are going to read every line.
Right.
Whereas some of your other types of leaders, like myself, just give me the down and dirty.
Yeah.
Right? It's funny because my team, I say I don't like to put words in the body of an email.
Okay.
I'm a subject line
Okay.
only.
A one-liner.
If I can't get it done in that, then I'm probably picking
I'm
up
going
the
to
phone.
start trying that.
It's quick.
I mean,
quick.
I work in communication, so we're always looking to condense, be more visual.
Why do I
No one
need a
wants to read.
paragraph?
Yeah.
Come on. Give it to me quick. There's
Yeah.
enough things going on because I got texts, I got emails, I got this. Now it's DMs. It's this.
There's
I mean,
too
I
much.
just had, may have missed an opportunity, and I'm not blaming myself on this, but we're in an era now. My assistant Michael's probably going to laugh at this. I'm even sharing, but Someone was looking to purchase a house this weekend. They decided to just follow me on Instagram and DM me my name, which if you don't follow somebody, that message goes into a request box.
Yes.
Do you think I saw it? No. And you would think if you're looking to purchase a property that you would pick up the phone or text or send an email, like some, right? So now we have all these different layers of communication that we have to check
You're
to
right.
stay on top of, and it's exhausting.
It is exhausting.
So short and sweet for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I live. Okay, so what? Let's bring to you, right?
Okay.
13 years ago, what brought you to St. Pete?
I grew up, born and raised in Minnesota, and wanted to move somewhere after college. And my brother owned a house in St. Pete, so I moved down with a couple girlfriends. They didn't last more than a few years, but
And they went
still
back?
here. They went back.
What year was this?
2011.
Okay, so it wasn't popping as much
No,
as it is.
St. Pete was
You're right.
way different.
Got it. Because
Yeah.
now I'm like, who leaves?
Yeah, who wouldn't leave? I know.
Yeah.
Or who would not stay?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so came down here family.
Yeah, well, family, he didn't live here. He doesn't live here anymore. But
Right.
so I came down and rented, and I'm still renting 13 years later, which is embarrassing to say. But he's been cutting me a good deal. So
Yeah. Okay.
we're
well,
currently in the home buying process.
okay. Good. Good.
Yes,
Good.
yeah.
That's.
But yeah,
important.
no, I didn't know much about St. Pete. We came for spring break one year, and I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. You got like a little city with the beach and the water nearby, and it's grown so much since I've moved here, and I love it. I'll be probably here forever. But it'd be fun to have a cabin back in Minnesota when I'm older. And
So you can go visit the cold.
yeah, well, no, go in the cold, but the summers are the best,
Yeah.
and fall, which
I've
is
never
like
been
about.
to
You've
Minnesota.
never been? Okay, I know. I feel like I don't really have an accent.
No, you don't.
Okay, good.
You don't. Well, I can say that because one of my good buddies when I was in the military is from Minnesota.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
he-
It's usually when I say like no, my O,
Your
like
O.
boat.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
yeah. But gosh, when I moved down here, I worked at Aveda International,
Oh yeah.
and in Minnesota for like a bag, I say bag.
Yeah.
And I once was like,
love
hey, do you
it.
want
I
a
love
bag?
A bag. You
And
want a
she was
bag?
Like, what?
A bagel.
So now I say bag.
Right. Yeah, you adjust after that
You
amount
just,
of time.
yeah.
No, that's good. That's good. So your family's all Minnesota.
Yep, family's still up in Minnesota. My youngest brother lives in New York City, but I'm the only one down here.
Yeah. So what do you like to do in St. Pete?
There's so much.
Yeah.
Well, my husband and I are big foodies, so we love to go to different restaurants,
Plenty of that.
bars. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so much. I love, like, when you come down, there's always a new restaurant popping up. We're also very active. We like to golf and play pickleball, play basketball. So that's one of the things I love about St. Pete is the park system. I think we have, like, upwards of 170 parks. We live near...
Did you learn that in LSP?
I did, yeah. We did one of our seminars at, we did yoga in the park.
Oh,
but,
nice.
I live near Fossil Park. and
Nice.
It's a great
Yeah.
pickleball courts. They've added
Yep,
more,
yep.
the basketball indoor and outdoor. So we're very active. What else do we like to do? I mean, just walking around the pier and Vinoy Park,
Yeah. Anything outside?
anything outside. And there's tons of events and festivals and markets. I love the market scene here. Mezzo Market, Indie Flea. So, yeah, we love to be downtown.
Tons to do. And we're almost at the season where it's going to be more enjoyable to be outside.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe another month.
I've not been walking this summer
Yeah.
at all.
It's hot.
Well, and the rain.
Yeah.
Every day after work.
It's been downpouring. Yeah,
Yeah.
the flooding going on. Yeah, what are things that are happening in the city and for an environmental stuff? Do you know? Like, how deep does LSP go into that?
We do go deep. I don't want to say I'm an expert. So
Yeah.
I know we typically will hear from just how, as a homeowner, you can be better with like the landscaping and make sure you're not like contributing to, some of the toxic chemicals that are going into our wastewater. So you do learn a lot about it. I feel like I probably can't represent the information, but I think a big topic for this year will be some of the stormwater because our infrastructure is not set up to consume
How
all
wild
of
is
the
that?
water. Yeah, it's insane.
Like
I mean,
a couple weeks ago, a flash rain and it flooded all the streets and
some
people
of the
couldn't
streets
get.
that I feel like don't normally flood. Like I saw the videos of people driving. I'm like, oh my gosh.
It was quick.
Yeah.
And it just I don't even know what you can do. Like I'm uneducated by a lot.
Yeah.
To
Same.
know what can the city do to help that, because if it hasn't happened and the water tables are just high, I don't know how you resolve that
Are
without.
you in St. Pete? And
I am.
do you flood? Does your place?
Oh no, I'm downtown.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Five blocks from everything in my life is very
In the
efficient.
towers.
Everything from my life
Nice.
is very
That's
efficient.
nice. I would love to live down here.
It has to be that way. But yeah. So it has. But the streets were flooded here.
Yeah.
Just pulling out of the parking garage from this building was
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. So
yeah, we
I
had a
don't.
couple events that we had to move for our info sessions because the buildings had flooded.
Yeah, I knew people who they couldn't get home for 2 hours
Oh my goodness.
because they were just sitting waiting for the water to go down. Which, if you're listening to this, do not drive through the high waters. I mean,
Yes. PSA.
PSA, please don't. Like it's just your car's not made for it unless you got a snorkel kit. Even so, some of that water's got salt in it. It's not good for your car.
Yeah. I love around hurricane season that meme with DJ Fresh, him like
Do I know this one?
he's like kayaking down the water on a street. You've seen it. I think he's
DJ
on like a DJ.
DJ Fresh or DJ Khaled?
No, no, St. Pete, local. DJ Fresh,
I don't know this.
Okay, he's the Rays DJ. You'll have to look into him.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I think he was like joking though. He was on a little whale blow up thing, like pretending.
Oh yeah,
You'll
but it's good.
see
It's
it.
good.
I'll
It's good.
send
It's
it
good.
to you.
Yeah. Please do.
But it's it's the water here. I feel like that's a big issue.
It's a big issue. It's a big
LSP
issue
needs
for
to
Shore
help solve.
Acres. It's a whole
Yeah.
issue. It's a sad problem because there's great neighborhoods that are just getting like messed up
Yeah.
bad. All right, well I'm really intrigued with LSP. Like I'm just gonna talk personally about the whole thing now. But I'm sure. Well, how do you overcome the objection of time?
Good question. Yeah, we like to be real. It's going to be a lot of time. But if you can
But I need to quantify a lot of time.
Okay.
Like these are leaders, these are high level professionals
Yes.
coming to you. I can't just tell what's a lot because
Yeah.
a lot to you might not be a lot to me.
Right. So the events are every other week, but there will be sub meetings with either your seminar planning team or your committee.
And
for
we're
the
talking about a
project.
one meet. Okay, but those every other week meetings are 4 hours once. So 8
Yes.
hours out of the month right there.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
And on top of that, probably, it ramps up as you get through. Like January, February is, I would say, on the lighter side. So probably like 10 hours a month. But then as you get to March and April and May, it's probably upwards of 15 to 20 hours a month.
Be real with me. Be real with me.
But okay, with anything, it's what you put into it that you get
Of
out of it.
course,
So with
of
40 leaders, not everyone is going to be that super engaged leader throughout the program. Some people are definitely dedicating more of their time, and we have leadership positions within the community project, even the ones that are class led. So. Yeah, it's a big time commitment, but what we love is the time commitment up front. You have the schedule, you have the time. That's all already out there and posted. So
We'll have to look at that.
Yeah,
I
you'll
can't
have
make
to
it.
look
I
at
can't make any decisions until.
we're gonna try to get you. You don't have much time though. The application is due September 23rd at 4:30.
I have 10 days.
You have 10 days. You got this.
Yeah.
But if there is anyone interested in applying, we just recommend that you spend time on the application, and because we get a lot of applications, it's a very competitive process. So
Is it? So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
The application process.
Yeah.
And then I
So-
want to talk about community projects. I'm just letting you know
Okay.
in case I forget.
Perfect. So the application is out there, leadershipstpete.com. There's a PDF so you can take a look at it, but it's some questions about yourself, and then there's 3 short essays and 1 long essay question.
How long is a long essay? I haven't written an
Well,
essay
it's
in a
asking
long
about
time.
an issue in St. Pete and how
Okay.
you would address it. So
Like, we're talking like 5 paragraph or like 5 pages.
there's a max. I don't remember what the character max is, but we don't want 5 pages.
Remember, I write subject line
Yeah,
emails.
you're gonna struggle. No, I'm just kidding. But definitely, we want you to just put your heart and energy into it. Like
Yeah.
we want to know about you, not like what ChatGPT says. So definitely, if you are going to apply, I encourage you to spend the time on it. Start
What's your
early.
line? I journal.
Oh,
I can-
I'm starting to journal.
Oh, okay. We can talk about that.
Yeah. Do you have your bullet journaling?
Okay, but that's that. Hold on,
We'll take that.
Hold on,
We can-
we're coming to
yeah,
that. We're coming to that. Okay, so application process. There's some writing involved. Scary. Keep going.
Yes. But that's pretty much it.
All right.
It is a full written application.
Yeah.
It's a completely blind anonymous process. So we don't know who you are. We do actually ask that you don't put your name or your company because we want it to be, a very inclusive and fair process as we're going through the applications. So you have to tell us who you are without.
So
telling
do you
us
turn
who
people
are.
away?
We do. Like there's only 40 top people that will get in the program.
And how many applications do you get?
We don't disclose that, but it is a very competitive process.
Fair enough.
And this year, I feel like we've seen a lot of interest, so we're expecting to get quite a few applications.
Got it.
I think we've had almost over 100 people attend info sessions,
All right.
and over like 160 sign up. So
I have so many questions, but I'll save when we're off air.
yeah,
Okay, application. So then the community projects, because that seems like that's the big thing, right?
is.
What are examples of those community projects?
Yeah. So mine in 2021 was Mustard Seed Inn. It's West Carr's Mustard Seed Inn. It's on Central and 25th. It is a transitional housing facility for homeless people when they're, who maybe struggle with addiction or mental illness. It's a place for them to kind of get back on their feet. And I think the building or the company, they've been here for around 20 years and it had never seen any renovations. So it's like you're expecting these people to enter back into the workforce, but we're not really giving them the resources to do it. So it's a capital improvement project. We worked on kind of their communal space, we gave them a computer room, and we had Dell donate a bunch of computers so that they can apply for jobs. And then we also upgraded their outdoor space. We added some shading, and we added a little workout equipment outside. So yeah, we just made it a better experience for them and all of the clients that are there. Last year, 2024, it was St. Pete Youth Farm. I don't know if you're familiar. It's in the South Side. It's a youth farm that was started by Carla Briggs, and she basically brings in youth to garden and work on, this is not my area of expertise, but to build a garden, and then they're growing food that then they're selling to the community. So it's just kind of like you're giving the youth the skills to learn how to be a leader and also how to get their hands, be accountable and get their hands dirty and actually like work on something. And then you're also like giving back to the community. So that was a really cool project last year.
All right. So those are interesting.
Yeah. And
what is that noise? It's outside. All right, sorry. I got distracted.
Okay. I know, I hear it too.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it wasn't a computer blowing up. All right, so really cool projects that are really giving back and creating an impact in the community.
Yes.
That's important.
Absolutely.
How much time, for your example, so all 40 leaders are working on that one project?
Yes.
What's that process like to get 40 people to agree on one thing?
Yes.
That's a process.
That is a process. So the planning committee, our volunteers that put on the program, they narrow it from, actually, I should call this out. Nonprofits can apply right now for our 2025 community project.
Okay, so there's a list of potential.
So yeah, we have a full application process. It's been open for 4 months, and nonprofits who meet our eligibility criteria can apply. And then that is from the applicants we receive, 5 of them are presented to the planning committee. We narrow it down to 3. And then those 3 top applicants are presented to the class, and they have to vote on it. And it's everyone kind of.
Is it just a vote, or is there any debate, or is there any
there's debate.
Okay.
Yeah, so that all happens at opening retreat. Our full Saturday is everyone advocating. We try to keep it positive, advocating for which nonprofit you would like to be selected for the class project. And so there's an open discussion, and then ultimately they vote on who their top. And every year, my year I was going into it thinking it was going to be one nonprofit that I wanted, and then I was persuaded into a different one. So it's a nice democratic process.
Yeah, interesting. I had a question with that, and I totally forgot. Maybe I'll come back.
No, well, I could answer. I think the other piece of it was like, how do we do it?
Yeah.
So I was on marketing because I work in communications. So we put together kind of the positioning for our project, which was Seeds of Hope, and tried to make sure that all of our marketing and comms materials aligned with that throughout the year. The biggest, I would say, piece of the project is the construction and design, which is not my area of expertise, but we had an architect who was designing and like scoping out what the project would look like. And they're also, working on sponsors and in-kind donors to donate some of the supplies that we needed. So that's like a really big bulk of the program. But we want people who, do that in their day-to-day that can help with that.
Right.
Then there's the fundraising element. So asking, for support of raising that $5,000. Or 50,000, sorry, 50,000.
But 40 people to get 50, that's not too hard.
Yeah, we've had to like lower that because it got a little out of control. Like my class, I should probably not say this on the record, but my class raised 150,000, and so we've had to narrow it back because it becomes a massive project and undertaking where you're trying to
spend all the money.
Too much. Well, it just becomes a lot of work, and it's already a really time-intensive program.
Well, I'm not following. What do you mean it becomes like if you raise too much money? Why is that creating more work?
To put on the project in the
at the
amount
scale,
of
that's
time.
What I'm saying.
Yeah,
because you're saying okay, now we have a bigger budget. There's a lot more we can do.
Absolutely.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, for 50,000 isn't too much, especially with there's a ton of grants that we apply to or the class will typically do that.
Right.
And then we have fun events too. We had one at this was my year at One Night Stand, which is one of my favorite bars. Such a dive, but we had was like a rodeo style kind of karaoke themed event. So we're selling those tickets to really anyone, but it's a lot of LSP alumni. We have over 1,600 alumni that typically will come out to support the next class.
This is actually a good problem.
Yes.
Right, but you said scale back, and I'm going to push on that a little bit because this is what I do, right? Maybe the scale, and I don't know, maybe like if you have all this money and you're like, but our project's only this big, well, let's find a bigger project, right? Maybe the scales of the projects need to be elevated.
Well, it's not that.
Is it the class?
It's more of the time. We're trying to accomplish the project in
a certain amount of time.
3 months. Really, like you just pick your project in January. In February, you have the kickoff meeting, the scope meeting, where you're defining what the scope of the project will be. In March is really when you kind of like have all of the press materials ready to launch it, and then you're starting with the fundraising.
Got it.
So you really only have from March to May when the community project work day is. So it's like
it is. I get that.
It's a short amount of time.
I get
if we
that.
had a full year or more, I mean, I think we could probably do it a lot more. But any additional funds raised are donated back. So we, at the end of this year, provided the additional funds to the St. Pete Youth Farm to do, additional projects on their site.
Cool. Yeah. I'm like, that's a great
you're
problem.
Like, let's do everything.
Let's go. Come on, I'm go big or go home. Let's
Right.
go. Right? Like, we don't need to scale back. I come from a no limiting beliefs.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, fun. Now I want to talk about journaling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
because
a
I think
novice.
but I think from a leadership perspective, it's really, really important.
It is.
I spend a lot of time in deep thought.
Okay. I'm working on that.
And I think if you don't write it all, if your bullets is how you have to get it done, amazing. But I think you're missing some of the magic. Because do you think, unless in your mind you think in a bulleted format?
Well, and I'm not an expert, but bullet journaling, it's the journals that have all the dots. So you can kind of like do more visual things with it. You could still write out like if you wanted to reflect or, write the things you're grateful for in the morning. So you can kind of, it's very flexible.
Yeah, there's many different ways. There's no
wrong.
There's no
Right. You just
there's
have
no
to do
right or
it
wrong.
consistently.
Yes, because there's something special about getting your thoughts out of your head
Absolutely.
onto paper so you can visualize them, right? Because I just had this conversation last night and this morning of ruminating, right? Like, and even on a problem or how do I solve this or right? But then you write it down. You're not going to write the same thing 100 times. So you can think, okay, well, what's the next step? What's the next thing I have to do? And I like to just let the stream of consciousness flow. And we actually, after 12 minutes of journaling on one prompt, you start to pull things out of your subconscious. It's really when you get into the meat and potatoes of answering a question. So there's some science behind that. You should ask yourself one question and write on that for at least 12 minutes.
Okay. I need to start doing this. I really don't. This has been on my goals list for 3 years.
It's a practice. And I don't think it's perfect, but and a lot of us will turn to writing when we're facing adversity. Right? And this is a conversation I just had of, well, we need to turn to it more even when we're good, because when we are in adversity, to go read the good things can help us pull out of that. And I think in anyone in any type of leadership position, you do face a lot of things, right? You don't get in leadership. I think great leaders fall into it, right? I'm worried of the leader that is overly excited and wants it. Do you know what I'm trying to say with that?
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying.
Right? Like when you're put into it by others, and it's like, okay, that's probably the right person. But that means they're facing the hardest problems.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to hear, what is your practice? Like, how do you remain consistent and
with journaling?
Yeah. Is it like a morning, night
routine? So I have 3 places that I write.
Okay.
And so it all depends on where I'm at and what's going on. And then I try to keep a general topic of mind, because it's probably where I'm sitting. So in the morning, as long as I have, even if it's 5-10 minutes, I have a OneNote, which failed me today because our notes are actually in there for these.
I wish I could see them.
Yeah. And I'll write of just like what's going on, what I want to accomplish today, how am I feeling, what I'm super grateful for. And then I have a handwritten journal that I'll write in at night.
Okay.
And that practice was very strong. And that's probably, I plan on writing a book one day just because I think it'll be fun. And all these journals are going to help facilitate that. And the nighttime journaling is like very free, and I don't put any restrictions on anything, and just, I don't even think, whatever's on mind is just flow. Flow until I just hit a spot. And some days it might be 4 sentences. Some days it might be 4 pages. I don't restrict myself on that, but I love going back and reading those entries, even a week, a month, a year later, because it's so cool to see where your mind was at, what you were thinking, and what has changed or stayed the same. Because sometimes, at least for myself, I think that this is a new thought, and I can go find it from 6 months ago. And I'm like, right? And then if I'm at any place, like I'll just write notes on my phone.
Yeah.
If I'm waiting for someone to come somewhere, or there's something that I'm going through, or I need to like work something out, I'll just hash it out there with myself. So I think in leadership, you're at least for me, as a leader of 2 brokerages and a team and all this stuff, it's lonely at the top. So I have to talk to myself a lot, and the best way to do that is through writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're inspiring me.
Okay.
I even bought like a really expensive journal this year, and I think I wrote my goals in it at the beginning of the year, and I haven't checked back in. So
you gotta check back in.
I think I'm just very like actionable. Like the thought of writing just what I'm thinking is, I don't know.
It creates
scares
space.
you a little bit.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what is gonna come out.
Right.
And that's what's neat.
Yeah.
Is that we don't know, without putting yourself in a box of, oh, well, I need to think about this. It's just like
what I'm grateful for.
sit down, set a timer for 10 minutes, and just.
Yeah.
I don't know what to write. Wow, this is really silly. I don't know what else I could say. Well, I got hungry. Well, wait a minute. Now, what do I want to do? What could I focus on? But okay. Now all of a sudden. 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in, you're like, oh, something's flowing.
Yeah, okay. I need to commit to that. One of my PC mates, one of our leaders, Steve Marciano, got me a journal for the year. And it's like a very pretty journal. I bring it with me. Well, he got me a journal and a planner. So I write in the planner. Again, I'm very like achievement-oriented.
You're a bullet. You're a task, result.
Yes.
Task,
but
result.
I need to get those other thoughts flowing.
Yeah, it's creative, I think, and it creates space for new. Because I don't know. I'm probably a little philosophical in that sense, but I think if I like to read about the great minds of the world and leaders and philosophers, and it all ties together. Because as you get to a certain point, you're like when you're leading people, there's a lot of philosophy behind it, and you got to ask yourself the hard questions if you're going to ask someone else.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you ask someone the question, then they ask you, and you're like,
I don't know. I don't want to reflect on that.
Yeah. I'm just thinking from a leadership perspective, like, you get to be surrounded by great leaders in that. And I love the idea of this group. I'm going to promote it a little bit.
Please
Because you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And so to be, intertwined with people who want to get better in any sense, I think is amazing, especially over a 6-month period. And to create relationships with people that you otherwise wouldn't know, and that are coming from all different facets of life, can all provide a different outlook on life and bring different expertise to the table, which you get to learn from.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That made me think of our, and I missed this seminar earlier, we have a diversity, equity, inclusion seminar. And my year, I remember, I'm going to probably butcher the activity a little bit, but we had to write down the 5 people closest to us and just kind of like looking at your group and kind of you're reflecting on like, are they actually like lifting you up? But also, do they look like you? Like, are they kind of in your same industry? And I think that the program really exposes you to meeting people outside of who you would normally meet and who are, maybe your top 5 now, and you can add more people to it, which I think is just really exciting that kind of all tend to hang out with people who are similar to us. So this just kind of breaks you out of that comfort zone.
Yeah, we like to hang with people we know, like, and trust. And I love that you did the 5 people exercise, because that's something I've done that with myself. I've audited who do I physically spend the most time with, and who do I talk to the most, and that's not always the same, right? Because at least for me, because of being prior military, some of my best friends don't live in the state.
Oh, you were prior military? Okay.
And so there's times where I may talk with someone more on the phone, even though we may be in the same room or we work together. It doesn't necessarily mean we talk the most.
Right. So
I did that whole thing, and then looking at, do these 10 people or however many there were, are they bringing me the right things in my life? That's a hard question.
It is, yeah.
And it's hard if you have to audit that
right.
and say, well, this one maybe not so much. That's a question I've been thinking about more on this week, of what gives you energy versus what takes away from your energy.
Yeah.
because, man, we don't have time to be sucked dry.
Yeah, no, not at all.
What are some other things that came out of the leadership part for yourself? Like that, because I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Right?
I know. I'm excited that you are.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And Michael knows. It's it's a calendar thing. Mm-hmm. Even when I told him I was looking at it, he was like, Brian, when are you going to do that?
2025 is the year.
He's probably getting mad right now because he knows I'm really thinking about it.
I think you can make it happen. I mean, I would say my biggest takeaway from the program was really just the relationships. I know that doesn't really touch on the leadership. I mean, we did do assessments leading into the mid-year and closing retreats too. Mm-hmm. And I think that helped me with like my day job and kind of incorporating it with like leading a team. But I feel like the biggest takeaway from Leadership St. Pete was more of like the community building.
Is that, cause that seems like, I mean, that's the coolest part of St. Pete altogether is the communities.
Yeah.
I talked about this yesterday with the podcast we have because there's a great pickleball community in St. Pete. There's a volleyball community. There's a yoga community. There's the sound bowls on the beach community.
So many dogs.
The dog community, the run clubs. There's the art community. There's, you name it.
Yeah.
The e-riders. I just saw them flying down the street last night. Thursday nights, if you're wondering where they meet up. I'm not a part of their group, but shout out to the e-rider group in St. Pete because every Thursdays I see them buzzing around town. The foodie group, like there's so many communities here, which is amazing because as humans, that's what we're always seeking.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I love most about St. Pete is the people who live here or work here, like, love St. Pete. Our chamber president and CEO, Chris Steinacher, he always says, like, pretty much in every presentation, he'll say, every story starts and ends with, I love St. Pete. And, like, I lived in Minnesota, and I don't know that I, like, appreciated my community as much, but I feel like everyone is really proud to live here, whether you were born and raised here or you moved here. Like, we all love St. Pete, and that is very apparent in the community here.
I remembered my one question, but I want to comment on that. I think my hypothesis on this is that because there's now this mix of people who have moved here, who are not from here. So like you and I, we're not from here, but we can connect on the fact that we're not from here.
Right.
And then those who are here have watched the city grow and know that it's a very small business community. So it's always you're supporting local, which creates more of that community feel because when you walk into that restaurant or shop and you're talking to the owner, it's way different.
Yeah. And
I think that's really special. And the big conversation I had yesterday was about keeping the locals owning the businesses here and not allowing larger franchises or non-locals to open larger establishments here because it will lose that touch.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I love that there's hardly any chains. Like, and when friends come to visit, I'm like, yeah, that's all pretty much local. Like, and the places we always pick typically are, but yeah.
I'm not. There's a chain that's opening on Central that I'm very upset about.
Well, you can't say it.
I can. I will.
What is it?
Melting Pot.
Wait, that used to be here though.
I don't care. They do not belong on Central.
I know.
And I'm going to voice
they
my
used to be on 4th Street.
The better spot.
Yeah, it's better spot.
Better spot?
4th Street's growing, though.
Go back. I'm sorry. And you know what? I'm sure it's going to be great. I'm sure I'll eat there. But it just doesn't fit the vibe.
Yeah. No,
it's trying to be sneaky.
Sorry, Melting Pot.
It's trying to be sneaky. Right? And so I'm upset about that. I will voice it. And whoever gets mad, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's my show.
Aside from Publix, I feel like Publix belongs.
But, to have a local grocery store, name one that has everything that you need, right? Because Trader Joe's, even those like there's still some type of larger corporation involved. So very hard. But that's where we have the local markets, and right, you can go down Saturday Market, and right, and you can get local there. So Publix will make an exception. Yeah, I shop there all the time.
I do too. And when I moved down here, everyone was like, Publix. I'm like, I don't understand what it is about a grocery store, but now I get it. Pub subs.
Pub subs are good. Have you had a Gateway sub?
I haven't.
Ooh, okay. You need to try them out.
Okay.
Local guys.
Okay.
They're not local to you, but they moved here. Grant has done a phenomenal job. He's growing so fast because his subs are thebomb.com.
Okay.
And we had a little reel go viral of is a pub sub, which one's better, a Gateway sub or a pub sub?
Okay.
And yeah, so you should give them a try.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. My husband is a really good cook, and he makes really good sandwiches. We call him Hot Jesse's. His name's Jesse.
Nice.
So we eat at home a lot, but
Yeah.
I'll have to Gateway Subs.
Gateway
checking
Subs.
it out.
Yeah, get it. I don't know if your office does lunch for the team or something. Have a little cater thing. Bring the subs in. Yeah.
Okay.
So the question earlier, bringing it back to why did you decide to be the chair?
That's a good question. Well, I probably going through the program, I was not ever thinking I would be chair because one, probably like more of an imposter syndrome thing, not thinking, I had the confidence to do it. So I really, after graduation, I joined the planning committee and have been on it ever since. And I knew I wanted to get involved afterward, but it was one of my mentors, his name is Mike Brassaw, recommended, he kind of nudged me a little bit. He said, hey, you'd be really great at this. And so I feel like that just kind of shows like, as a leader, you have sponsors who are going to kind of, get you out of your comfort zone and push you on things that you may have never thought you could do or would want to do. So that's really what kind of put the thought in my head. I mean, I always had it in the back of my head, but again, not thinking like, how am I going to lead a group of 40 who are probably more experienced, more intelligent than me, more know more about St. Pete than I do. So I've just kind of had to. I know I'm capable of doing it, and I'm really excited to go through the process and maybe serve as more of a connector because I feel like that's something that I am really good at, just relationship building and continuing to like find those connections between different people who may not know each other or like may not know as much about each other. But yeah, that's how I'm here.
That's good.
I drank the Kool-Aid too. I love LSP.
Well, that's important, and having someone who believes in you and sees in you. There's something special about having someone who sees great qualities in you that you maybe don't recognize, and you have this imposter syndrome, which I've been told that that's a good thing. Mm-hmm. When you're in a position in your life that you have imposter syndrome, that's great because that's where the growth happens.
Right. Yeah, I'm growing.
Yeah. So the more you feel like an imposter is good.
Yeah.
Good. You talked about relationship building and how that is a natural thing with you, and that happens to be your day job.
Yes.
What do you do during the day when you're not LSP co-chair and trying to get all these people to come join?
I'm on the corporate communications team at Raymond James. I serve as an internal consultant to our many lines of business to support the planning and execution of communications to our financial advisors across the country. So internal communications.
It all aligns.
It all aligns.
It all aligns.
Yeah.
And it makes sense you being a bullet point kind of.
Yeah, get things done.
Yeah, get things done. That's a great person to be in a position that you're in right now.
Yes,
organized
absolutely.
well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought of something you asked earlier about leadership development. I didn't do this through LSP, but through Raymond James. Have you done the Clifton Strengths Assessment?
I think a long time ago.
A long time ago, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I do go back to my top strengths, at least the top 3. Mm-hmm. One was includer, positivity, and then achiever, which goes back to the bullet points. So I think bringing that includer, like I want everyone to feel welcome going into this next class, and I feel like that's how I kind of approach my leadership at work too. Just making sure that everyone, feels included and remaining
important.
Positive through,
a little bit of people
all
pleasing.
adversity. Yes. I do have a little of that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get over that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me
and
too.
like caring what people think.
Yeah.
Trying to get over that.
I got a good book for that.
What is it?
4 Agreements. Have you read it?
Oh, I just heard about that the other day. My friend's going through Sun State Yoga's yoga teacher training.
Yeah, okay.
And they've had to
a lot
read
of
that.
yoga reads that. Yes. Okay, so this is the second time now it's showed up in your life. And so it means
literally yesterday we talked about it. I put it in my notes. So I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, buy it. You could read it in
I've been
one
slacking
sitting.
on my reading. So
it's a phenomenal book. You could read it in one sitting,
a
weekend. It's not that long. But do you know what the agreements are?
I don't know what they are.
Okay.
No, enlighten me.
Yeah. First one is to be impeccable with your word.
Okay.
Not only to others, but most importantly to yourself. It goes back to that whole thought process, right? And writing, because we're nasty to ourselves.
We are.
The second one is don't take anything personally.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
Jenna, even if I said I like your jacket, you want to take that personally.
I love it. Yeah.
Compliments.
Okay. Compliments.
If anything personally is the good and the bad, right? Because I told you that because I want to feel good, but it also made me feel good.
Yeah.
To give a compliment, right? The third is don't make assumptions. We know what that does.
Yeah.
Right? Ass out of you and me. And the fourth is always do your best.
Okay.
Because your best isn't the same every day, right? When you're sick, you can't expect your best to be the best when you're healthy. But as long as you know you're always doing your best, maybe to get better or whatever. And so it's all encompassing, and he does a great job at going deeper into all of them. But it's a great framework to get through tough times or just as a leadership perspective of like, well, why did that happen? Well, maybe I made an assumption, or I took it a little personal, or I wasn't impeccable with my word. Was I doing my best? Great book.
Okay.
Great
I'm
book.
excited to read it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, those sound like all really great things. And something, like I said, I try to always focus on the positive, and I know that I feel like I always see those quotes on Instagram, like happiness is really just your thoughts and being positive and trying to stick with looking at the good side of everything, but I feel like I would get a lot out of it.
I'm a glass half full.
I am too.
I'm always optimistic.
Yeah.
I'll turn a bad thing
Although
into...
it is, I'm being challenged right now. I'm a glass half full kind of gal, but we're like I mentioned, we're looking to buy a house, and I hate that it's completely out of our control. Like, we can come up with, and you know this better than I do, but I can't work harder to make it happen. I can't stay up later. It's like
to find the home or to get the one you want.
To get the one we want. We have our eye on one right now, and so
is there other people that want it?
There aren't other people that want it.
Okay, so get it.
The woman, it's a long story. I won't get into it, but older woman, widow, has a lot of emotion attached to the home. She's also the seller's agent. So she's the
tough.
owner. Yeah, it's tough.
Tough.
We're working through it though, but it's keeping me up at night.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to I should journal. I need to write all my thoughts on paper tonight, and
and then you just witness them, and if you either can burn them or keep them.
Well, I wanted to send her a thank you note, but I guess you can't do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say.
That's okay. We won't. I shouldn't ask you that. Yeah. But I just got some new personal stationery that is. It's got some flair. It's eclectic. I'm like, she would love it. But I won't send it.
Yeah. All right. Good. I get that though. I get that. You're right.
Well, back in the day, didn't they send pictures of family?
There was a lot of things that were happening when there was 30 offers on a home that maybe weren't legal, but they were still happening.
Yeah. I'm a rule follower, so I listened to my realtor. She's like, you can't.
Yeah. You have to. Technically, right? Now, if a letter showed up in the mailbox.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I forgot where we were at, but...
Sorry, I brought it.
No, it's okay. It's good.
Oh, you were telling me about the 4 agreements.
But just being optimistic.
Yeah.
Just being optimistic. And I feel like even going through a major change, was there any... Here, I got a good question. What was the most challenging part of LSP for you?
That's a good question. Honestly, I loved every minute of it. I know that
you just flowed. It was easy. It was the best time of your life. That's why you want to keep doing it.
So we were working from home. I wasn't going in the office. I wasn't really seeing people. And back in 2021, it was full days. So we had 13 full days. It was a lot. I mean, I'm sure, and I don't have a family yet, so I didn't have a husband at the time. So I just had a lot of time to give.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So I feel like, no, I don't. There wasn't really anything that was challenging there. I mean, I'm sure people experience that when you're not kind of jiving with someone that you're working with and you're having to accomplish a task. Like I said, I'm kind of a people pleaser, so I don't let things get to me. So I grew up with brothers, and they were hard on me.
Right.
So I feel like I have thick skin.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what I would say is challenging. I think from a program leadership standpoint, we want to make sure that it's an accessible program to the city. And so we really focus heavily on that during recruitment, making sure that we're having the informational sessions at all areas of St. Pete, Southside, North St. Pete, of course, in the heart of downtown, and making sure that people know about the program. We have scholarships available for those that, maybe their organization isn't able to cover it, or they're a solopreneur and they're not able to afford the program. We want to make sure that anyone can participate, so we offer scholarships. So I think that's probably one of the challenges the program faces, is we want to recruit a very diverse class, and we want to make sure everyone has access to the program, and so we're just continuing to reinforce that year over year.
Well, I'm happy that we can share some awareness on it here. One question I ask everyone on the show is, what's your favorite place to eat in St. Pete?
There's so many. It's hard to choose.
I know, but it's your birthday. We're in St. Pete. You can't go across the bridge. Where are we going to eat?
Can I pick a few?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, maybe we go for appetizers, and we get a
do
drink, we go to
progressive
appetizers.
Dinner.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we'd start for a cocktail at Mandarin Hyde.
Okay.
I love the espresso martini there.
Love it.
And then we went here for my birthday this year, 4-2, which is a newer restaurant, and I really loved the atmosphere. They had good cocktails. Not as good as Burns from, the steak wasn't as good, but very, very good experience.
Yep.
I love Urban Stillhouse for brunch, so that is
Great
typically
spot.
my go-to. And then just kind of on a weeknight, El Cap on 4th Street. Have you been there?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. Who hasn't been there? But their burgers are so good. Their fries and the price, you cannot beat it.
Cannot beat the price.
Yeah. I used to love Anada, which is now Alelo.
Oh, yeah.
So they're top on my list too. I mean, there's so many new ones on Beach Drive too that I have to check out. Juno and the Peacock, I feel like
I haven't been to that one yet. Yep. I haven't checked it out yet, but
what's your favorite?
Oof. I really love ceviche, but I've worn it out. I've worn it out.
That was my favorite when I moved down here.
Yeah. And my friends at Soul St. Pete, Debbie and Ron, it's a smaller spot. It's smaller, but it's the food is incredible. Debbie is allergic to a lot of stuff. She shared that. And so the ingredients are incredibly fresh and just amazing spot. Good date spot.
Okay. Soul, yeah. Did that.
From an ice, I love Plant Love.
Okay.
On Central.
I think I've been there once. I'm not a big ice cream
Me neither.
person. Okay.
But because it's coconut based, I don't really like to do dairy ice cream. Mm-hmm. I don't know, just vibes.
Yeah.
I really like that. And so I will shop because it's like a ritual now weekly. I'm eating at Bavaro's.
Okay. I haven't been there in a while.
It's like I live right there.
Yeah.
And it's a Friday thing. We like to sit on the sidewalk, hang out. Mm-hmm. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even look at the menu.
You get the same thing?
I get the same few couple. Yeah.
What about coffee shops? That's another thing I love about St. Pete is all the different coffee shops.
Tons. And I don't, make most of my coffee in the office. The place I do go, I'm not going to share because it's not a local. It's just a convenience thing.
Okay. Craft?
I do like Craft. I do like Craft.
All right. Craft is my go-to.
I like Craft. That's a great one. I'm trying to think if there's any that sticks out. On a weekend, on a Saturday, to go in and get a little something from Intermezzo.
Yeah. Oh, and their cocktails.
Yeah.
They're a perfect spot because I'll go there. Well, maybe we'll say the weekend. I shouldn't say that. I do this during the workday. But you go there, you finish your workday with a coffee, and then it transitions into cocktails.
Oops.
I love it. But I think they had so many people working there on the weekends that they instituted a policy. You probably saw that. No, they don't have Wi-Fi anymore for the weekends because they didn't want people working there. It's
I never go in there to work on the weekend. But
it's a good spot to work.
Yeah, not on a weekend.
Well, on a Sunday, you're prepping for the week.
I guess. Yeah, go somewhere else.
Yeah. Or just get a life. I'm a little bit of a workaholic.
No, me too. But I do, when I'm on, and when I'm off, do not, it's tough. I have no middle.
Yeah.
I'm an extremist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there was another coffee shop, but I just can't think of it at the moment.
Another one, I don't know are you a tea drinker?
I love tea.
Okay. It's kind of a girly place, but it's on it. The other MLK, I feel like, has new places popping up, but it's called Blush Tea and Coffee Bar.
It sounds low.
It's a little, yeah. It's like animal print, pink, but they've got a lot of tea to choose from.
Okay.
And this summer, I've been doing an espresso tonic. So it's espresso and tonic water and some tea. I don't know.
And tea.
Gross. Yeah, it's good though.
I'm not judging. I just had never heard of it.
The tea is kind of like the sweetener. So it's like, and then you add the espresso and then the tonic water. It's weird. It's a weird drink, but it's good. It's refreshing.
Was this something they made? And
they had it. Yeah, it was a lavender espresso tonic. So I think the lavender tea is kind of like the sweetener, and then you
I'll try anything once.
Yeah, just try it.
I'll try anything once. Maybe twice.
It's an acquired taste.
Okay. All right, good.
Sometimes you get sick of coffee.
Yeah. No, I used to drink only tea and then came to coffee and need to get back probably to the tea thing because it is better for you, they say.
Yeah. I've been on a Celsius kick.
Oh.
And I know it's so bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, every once in a while, it's okay.
Yeah.
I feel like if I'm really struggling and I got to muster through, that's when I got to go to Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, St. Pete's so health conscious, which is amazing. And I think it's more things it's awesome that we can sit here and can rattle our brain of all these places that we can go.
Right.
It's really, really neat.
I love it here.
If someone's interested, where do they go?
LeadershipStPete.com.
Is there a button for apply?
There's a button for apply. There's a sample application. There's a blog post that talks about everything you need to know. So I'd highly recommend going there. And then you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn at leadershipstpete.com.
Amazing.
Our social team's been doing a great job.
Yeah.
The dude with sign,
on
Instagram? we kind of were inspired by that.
It
I don't
works.
think we did it as good, but we had some
it's
of
cool that
our
you were getting
planning
creative.
committee- Yeah, we were getting creative. You'll see some of those.
I like it. I like it. Well, Jenna, it was a pleasure having you. You shared tons of knowledge. Go sign up.
Yeah.
Let's
please.
compete. Let's see how good my essay is.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed, I'm gonna ask my assistant if I'm allowed to.
You need to apply. Class of 2025 is the year. It's our 55-year anniversary.
Five.
Lots of good
So that's a
stuff
good. That
happening.
is 25 in 5.
I know.
Why you gotta
It's
do
a
that to me?
marketer's dream.
I know. Oh man, got me. Well, appreciate you. Thank you for everything you're doing and helping develop the next generation of leaders for St. Pete. It's super empowering and awesome. Go sign up. Go check it out. What's the last date?
The applications close on Monday, September 23rd
Okay.
at 4:30 p.m.
So if we're thinking you got less than a week.
Yeah, don't wait till the last minute.
You got less than a week.
Yeah, less than a week. And then we're also still recruiting for the nonprofit. So those applications close on September 30th. If you're a nonprofit in the area interested in being a part of LSP and getting a capital improvement project done by the class, please apply.
Amazing. If they've made it this far, Jenna,
Yeah.
what's one word that they should comment below?
Ooh. This is a silly one, but hydrate.
Hydrate.
Like water.
I love
Water
that.
fixes everything.
That's the first. 60 some episodes in, and we haven't had hydrate yet.
God.
Hydrate. Go check out Leadership St. Pete. Appreciate all of you. Share with a friend, like, subscribe, do all the things. You know what to do, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.